We're also going to Fort Knox. I'm going to go with Elon. Would anybody like to join us? Wouldn't that be terrible if we opened it up and there was no gold there?
If the gold isn't there, we're going to be very upset.
So Trump says that we are going to Fort Knox to find out if the gold is there. And last week, I talked about in a video what might happen if it is not. But today, we are going to get a little bit more insight by going to a bullion dealer to find out what he thinks and what he thinks would happen to the price of gold and everything else if it's not there. So let's do it, but really quick, don't forget to like and subscribe and help us get the 250,000 subscribers. Just a quick reminder that the 2025 Monster Box giveaway from SD Bullion is live right now. I'll put a link for it down below. Make sure you get over there and get your entry in today. All right, so today we're joined here with Josh from My Not Coin and Bullion. And Josh, I just ran those two clips. And, you know, Trump said that we are going to go to Fort Knox. He's going to take Elon with us. And actually at CPAC, he even said, do you want to go? Well, of course I want to go. Obviously, I'm not going to be invited. But, you know, more on hand, as I wanted to talk about what this actually looks like. So let's say we actually go and we do find that all of the gold's there. What do you think is going to happen if it's actually there and there's nothing wrong? It's there just like they said it is. And do you think that they're actually going to test it? Do you think it could be real? I just want to kind of get your thoughts here. You know, what's going on with this?
Well, first I'll give my opinion about what I think they might find and then what I think they might do. I personally believe, and I think a lot of Americans do, and maybe people around the world believe, that not all the gold is there. Whether or not that's what they find and whether or not they communicate that with the American public, I highly doubt it. I don't think they're going to, let's say they go and it's basically empty, which I don't think is going to happen. And I'll get to that why in a bit here. But I don't think they're going to tell the American public necessarily everything. Let's just say they do walk in and Fort Knox has the, you know, I don't remember what Fort Knox is supposed to have for holdings, but the US for gold holdings is supposed to have over 8,000 metric tons. That's over 8 million kilos of gold. It's not all just in Fort Knox. They store some in Denver, they store some in West Point. There's a few other places as well, but the largest one is Fort Knox, right? So I don't believe that they can go in and in a short amount of time assess whether or not all the gold is there. Number one, I think it's going to take time. How are they going to verify the gold? Like, to your point, are they going to test every piece? I highly doubt it. That could take a large, long drawn out operation. So in terms of finding out what really is in Fort Knox, I don't think even if they do go there soon, we might not know that they've went there already, but we're not going to hear about it for a while. I truly believe that. Now let's just say they do go in there and a lot of it's gone. I don't think they're going to tell the American public. I think that's going to freak people out. That's going to shake the whole global economy. It's going to be terrible, terrible news for our dollar. You'd made the comment, our dollar could half. You know, our dollar strength could get cut in half if something like that happens. And of course, the obvious reaction then for metals is they have to go up exponentially, gold especially, obviously. But another part that's been brought up on other channels, and I'm sure people have maybe seen those, people are talking about, let's just pretend the gold is all there. That doesn't mean that the US owns the gold, right? That could be pledged to another country, another entity. It could be leased. Just because it sits there doesn't mean it belongs to the American public, right? Because technically, you know, we are our government. It's our gold. So there's a lot of scenarios that can play out, but I really think we're not going to get reported to us any earth-shattering, truly upsetting news, regardless of what they find. So I'm going to kind of take it with a grain of salt once they start the reporting. Musk had teased that, oh, I might live stream it when I go there. Well, that's great, but you can bet for damn sure they're going to make sure gold's in the vault before they start the live stream. And how are we going to know if it's all there or if it's even real?
Yeah, you know, it would be interesting if it were live streamed. I actually had people comment in that video that I released last week saying that there would be security issues and it would never live stream it, but I don't see why not. It's not like we're posting blueprints of this online and people already know where this facility is. They already know, or at least assume, right, that the gold's there. So I don't think there's an issue security-wise with live streaming it, so long as, you know, they just open the vault door and walk in. You're not showing anything sensitive. We're not posting blueprints of the facility, like I said, online. So I don't think that's an issue. One thing I do think is an issue, and I think they won't live stream as a result of, is if that gold's not there. But let's assume that it is, Josh. So, they actually said that the gold that's currently in there is on the books at only $42.22 per ounce. So if they did do an audit and then reevaluated the gold value to today's price, right? So instead of it being on the books at $42.22 an ounce, it's on the books at $2,950 an ounce, giving it that over $400 billion valuation. That would not even come close to touching our national debt. So does it really matter?
You're asking me if I think it's that big of a deal if it's not all there because it's such a tiny fraction of the debt.
Right.
Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Yeah, I still truly think it is because I think although our dollar is fiat, right, it's backed by nothing, thin air or just a thought that it has value. In my mind, and I think a lot of Americans' minds, America holding the gold kind of backs our currency in a sense, even though it doesn't technically. It gives other people confidence in our currency because, US holds a lot of gold, right? So if indeed it's not all there, or a fraction of it is missing, or most of it is missing, and I say missing, but sold, or we no longer own it, right? Because there technically hasn't been a good audit since the 1950s. There was just a kind of a BS one in the 70s where a few people went in and they didn't test everything. And so, boy, it really feeds into the conspiracy theories that it's probably not there. So if it truly isn't, I think it is a huge deal. I still think it's going to have huge ramifications for our national security and global finances because, we've been talking about it for years, right? All these other countries have been stockpiling gold. I should say they've been reporting that they're stockpiling gold. So, are they fudging the numbers a little bit to make us think they have more than they do? Probably, but I think the US has done that too. So, but it's going to have implications, big global financial implications, if indeed the gold isn't there. But that's to my earlier point. I don't believe we're going to get that report, whether or not it's true or not. And I'm not purposely saying that our administration would lie to us, but they might sugarcoat it, dance around the issue. You know how people lose interest? Pretty soon they'll just quit talking about it. and people will forget if indeed that's the case. But you've probably watched this too. The CEO of Scottsdale Mint. Did you see his interview, or at least clips of it?
Yeah, I saw clips of it.
Yeah, his name is Josh. I forget his last name. Anyway, you look it up, I guess. But and I like to believe him that he's being truthful here. He's basically said that he's privy to information that proves that gold since December has been flying back to the United States on nearly every commercial flight from overseas to repatriate the gold, presumably restock Fort Knox, restock West Point, restock Denver, Colorado. I don't know. Are we borrowing it to make it look good? Has this been a kind of a long time thing coming? And now, wow, look at all our gold. Do we really own it? I don't know. So there's a lot of crazy things going on.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see. It truly is. I wish I could predict, but if indeed they do, let the cat out of the bag that the gold isn't there, I believe gold has to skyrocket in value, in spot price. And I think it will if they do that. But
when talking about the Scottsdale guy, I know there's other reports, people that have interviewed by news outlets and stuff like that you can't verify these, but said that they used to be in the military and they were stationed at Fort Knox, and they are confirming, they're saying that, yeah, it's not there. So if it really isn't there, and they are worried about there being an audit on Fort Knox with this new administration and the Doge department and looking into everything financial, I could see, them shipping it back in. But, there was this Treasury Secretary said that there's an audit of that every year. My question is, why don't we ever get to see like any of those audits? And I know people are going to say, well, we don't have to see everything. I understand that. But like you just said, this is America's gold. Like, granted, me and you just can't go to Fort Knox and just say, you know what, I'm going to take some of this. But this is gold, supposedly, that's been paid for by the American taxpayer, right? So right. Technically, it is ours as an American people, not mine and yours individually, but ours as an American people. We should know. We should be privy to that information. That's at least what I think. But I will also, pointing back to what you just said, if it's not there, what happens to gold? I think it's insane what it does for gold, because if America's gold isn't there like they say it is, what other countries, kind of what you said earlier, are also lying about it? Remember, there is that letter from the senator out of Australia that said they want England's gold reserves audited because there's proof of fake gold in
Right.
the Bank of England's reserves. Like, how much gold is actually out there? And I think people are really starting to wonder. And, with gold price where it is right now, I mean, Josh, we talked about this last year, how gold saw like dozens of new all-time highs. I think we've seen a dozen all-time highs this year alone. It's not even March yet. So I think people are starting to realize how important gold is. Even those that, obviously you and I and people that watch this channel primarily have known how important gold is for decades. But I think just your average everyday American is starting to see how important it is. And I think if that gold's not there, it's going to be, I can't even think of what the implications would be. This is just my thoughts. But, you had also said, and I mentioned in my video last week, how even though our dollar's not backed by gold, the fact that that gold's there and people believe that that's gold there does give a little bit of legitimacy to our economy. And if they find out that America, I mean, think about it. If America, we have all this debt, but also we have all this gold and we have all these assets and we have all this money. But what if that real money's not there? What if we don't actually have the gold? Well, what else don't we have? I think it would be insane, to say it plainly, what would happen to the American economy, to the US dollar, to the faith in our economy if we find out that that gold's not there. So I don't think, even if it's not there, I don't think we're ever going to find out. I think we will believe 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whether or not it's there. Regardless, I don't think we'll ever know. What do you think?
I agree, because like I said, it would create too much global chaos and turmoil. If it did happen, though, $3,000 gold would seem awfully cheap, awfully quickly. So, to your point, I believe it would go up exponentially. And
you know what, Josh, not to interrupt you, but I think it wouldn't just be awfully quickly. I think you would instantly not be able to buy it for anywhere close to that. Because I mean, I would have zero interest in selling even a gram of gold that I currently have if I found out that was true. You know what I mean? And I think coin shops, maybe, I don't know, you're a coin shop, let me know. But I think coin shops would probably pull their gold. I think your online dealers would probably pull their gold till at least until things settle down and they find out where things are. If you remember back in, I think it was 2021, 2022, what was it? Whenever the silver squeeze started, it's been so long I've forgotten. When that whole thing happened, AppMex, I did this video on it. It was one of the biggest videos on my channel at the time, not so much anymore. But AppMex pulled everything off of their website. You could not buy any silver from their website for that entire weekend. And I think if this were to happen, the second that it's announced, the second that we find out, you would see a repeat from every single shop, every single online retailer. I don't think you'd be able to buy gold. I really don't.
I agree with you. And honestly, we're getting close to that point now. Granted, I can order gold, but I'm already seeing delays. If I want American Gold Eagles, it's 1 to 3 week delay. Trying to find them live right now is next to impossible. So, 2-3 weeks ago, we were talking about authorized purchasers melting down American Gold Eagles because they're just getting dumped. They're getting coin shops and the public just dumping product on them. It's switched. There's a high pent up demand for gold right now. And in talking with my main wholesaler, Dave, from Coin Huskers in Omaha, I texted him yesterday. He said he literally has one $20 St. Gaudens. That's the only gold coin he has available live in inventory, and he's a wholesaler. How crazy is that? Granted, he has stuff coming and orders placed, but there's product delays to source gold right now. So if it does break out, I think the switch is just going to get shut off. Well, great. Now you can't buy it. I mean, now you can buy it with a promise to get it 3 weeks from now. But there could be major things coming.
Is this a reaction, the switch from everyone selling to everyone buying? Is this a reaction to, what this news has been over the last week?
I think so. Most definitely. It truly did a 180. In Minot, North Dakota, I'm always a little behind what's going on nationally. It seems like if there's something bad, economically, it affects us kind of last. It takes a while to get to North Dakota. Same with positive things. But other parts of the country, we're seeing, wow, nobody's buying gold. And I'm here in Minot. I'm like, are you kidding? I'm selling gold every day.
Right.
But But I did get to the point where all of a sudden I was buying a lot of gold over the counter. In fact, I bought a lot of gold over the counter last week. But I also had the most gold transactions and sold the most ounces I think I've ever sold in a week, with the exception of one time when I sold about $1 million to one person. But there was a lot of gold flowing out of the shop. Now, granted, I had to order a lot of it and it's still not here. So hopefully it's coming this week and I can deliver to the people that have paid. But we're seeing product delays because of high demand and presumably, obviously, a backlog in supply.
So let's switch this over. What happens if there's no gold to buy? I know that silver always seems to like lag behind gold, but do you think people start moving into silver at that point, or maybe a different precious metal?
I would presume it would be silver. I can't see a big run on platinum and palladium and rhodium, things like that, but silver's the obvious next choice. And most people that would stack gold probably have some silver. Most people that stack silver don't necessarily own gold. So, if you can't buy your gold, what else are you going to do? I think silver, now silver becomes the number one metal that people are going to want to put their cash into. And that will have consequences on price too, even though retail demand doesn't affect spot price a lot. But if no gold is available and no gold can be bought or sold by anybody, it's going to have implications on the price of silver also. I truly believe that.
For sure. All right, Josh. Well, I'll tell you this. I think these next few weeks are going to be at the very minimum interesting. I don't know what the timeline is. I haven't seen if there's a time frame. All I've heard him say is that we're going. I'm taking Elon with me. Would you like to go? So, this could be a month from now. This could be 2 years. Maybe they're going to give them time to restock it. I'm
thinking.
Yeah.
Let's fill it up first and then we'll go.
But I still hold to my point. I think, while there's a lot of excitement around gold, and I think that's great because I think everyone should own gold, I'm at this point where while I believe that it should happen, I believe that we should know, I don't think that we're ever going to truly know, because unless it's there, maybe if it's all there, even if it's months from now, I have to restock it, right? But even if it's all there, maybe we'll see like a video from inside Fort Knox. But if it's not there, we're never going to know. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you.
It will just 100%. Be put off. They will have never went, or we were going to, but this, whatever excuse it is, I think there will be
a national security issue.
Yeah,
we can't talk about it, and that'll just feed into the conspiracy even more.
100%. Don't get me wrong. If we never go and we never hear anything, the conspiracies are going to fly, but we're not going to know for sure. So. Guys, Josh has his own coin shop in Minot, North Dakota. He also has his own YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link for both of those down below. Well, at least for the YouTube channel. I don't know. Minot, North Dakota. Minot Coin and Bullion. You'll find it. But he's on here once every 2 weeks or so. We love having him. Guys, do me a favor. Check out his channel. If you're in Minot, check out his coin shop. Josh, thank you for joining us. I really enjoyed it, and we'll have you on again here in a few weeks.
It's always fun. Thanks again.
Anytime.